Wag! Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Faster. I'm Old Big Mek, and in this video, can't breathe in this thing.
Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Fast. I am indeed Old Big Mek, and this here's my thinking cap. Valrak might have the foil, but that doesn't tell him anything. Orky! To get Orky, you need bread. And go faster. Anyways, yes, in this video we are talking about upcoming things, because Warhammer put out a very interesting preview on New Year's about big things on the horizon, and it's very, very orky. Now, before we get too far into this video, I do want to let you all know, today is me birthday. So if I can get a wag from everybody for me birthday, I'd appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. All right, for those of you that don't know what I am on about, this is the preview video that Warhammer put out over New Year's. They did 3 of these, one for Warhammer 40,000, one for Age of Sigmar, and one for Horus Heresy. Interestingly enough, on the Warhammer 40,000 one, they showed off a Custodes, a Kroot Rider, and this very orky fella here. Now, as soon as we saw this, stuff started going rampant on what this was. Everybody's first thing was, oh, it's a mech, because you see the wrenches up here. And then people realized, well, it's not going to be a regular mech. It's way too big. It's got to be a big mech. But when you look at it, that is not a shock attack gun at all. That is actually a lift-a-droppa. And so people started going, well, it must be Orkimedes. It's not Orkimedes either. This, my friends, is the Meklord. And if you don't know who the Meklord is, what? Do you live under a rock? Come on! The Meklord is one of the titular characters in Mike Brooks's seminal orc book, Brutal Kunnin. Now, we got a miniature of Ulfthak himself, who is the main character in the book. I think the week of Christmas, we did a little video about it, or just before Christmas, that he's coming out with the sequel to Brutal Kunnin, and they released a mini of Ulfthak, but that there weren't going to be any kind of real rules for him. It was like a celebration mini. The Meklord is different, though. So the Meklord is one of those background characters that kind of brings the big story arc along. And the Meklord is basically this amazing big mech who is building spaceships and working on teleporter technology for Gazgul. Now, he hasn't really featured in a lot of orc things up till now. And, you know, since the book came out, hasn't been anything new about him. The reason why I think this is the Meklord, beyond just the way he looks, is that if you really think about characters in Black Library novels, they tend not to make minis of them that are playable, because anything that's author controlled and in the Black Library, the author has control of it, right? They get to decide what's happening to it. They're going to get new war gear. They're going to get bigger. You know, like Ulfthak, he's quickly becoming a war boss, right? Instead of just a regular boy or a knob. And things of that nature, unless the story arc is completely done. So we didn't get, for example, Tanith First and Only, we didn't get any of those guys until the whole Tanith series was made and done and had been published for, God, almost 20 years since the first book came out before we actually got those. Same thing with Eisenhorn. They came out with an Eisenhorn, and it was a decade plus after the books came out, and Dan Abnett was already off on, you know, Ravener and Bigquin, I think, is the newer one. So that character arc is kind of done and settled. Ulfthak is very much still being written about. And because of that, they don't want to, like, put Mike Brooks into a corner, so you make a celebration mini, but he's not part of the rule set. The Meklord, on the other hand, being a background character in the books, GW can bring that out and actually have that be a part of 40K and move 40K forward in that big sense, right? Like how we got Ursula Creed and things like that, without constraining Mike Brooks into a corner with his character. So this is definitely the Meklord. If you go and read Brutal Kunnin, it's like in the first chapter when they describe him, he sounds exactly like that. He's got mechanical feet. You see mechanical feet. He's got the lift-a-drop-a gun. You see the lift-a-drop-a gun. He's clearly a mech with the wrenches. Yeah. There's all that lovely detail we were just talking about. Again, this is not a shock attack gun. It doesn't have the big suction thing going down to the snotlings. It doesn't have the big backpack. But what it does have is, you know, the funky coils and things. That is a lift-a-drop-a And again, you can see very mechanical looking feet here. You got some sort of a big custom shooter here, lots of DACA. Yeah, this is the Meklord. So you put on your thinking cap and you wonder, well, what does that mean? Orks getting the Meklord. Well, not sure. And in fact, I'm going to have a whole video on that coming out later on everything that I think is going to happen with the Orks moving forward. But one thing is definitely for sure. We are getting a new named character with our codex. And that is an awesome birthday present. And if you want to get Big Mek a birthday present, come join my Patreon or hit us up on Discord. Links are in the description below.
Well, that's it for this video. So until next time, log on!